Good morning, everybody. How are you doing?
There he is. Hi, Ryan.
Very good.
Good morning,
We were just about to go down the park and play hooky if you didn't show up.
Good morning.
That's all right. I don't blame you. So here we go. Let's start talking first. I'm going to be introducing soon a young lady named Leary Angel, not on this call, but soon to all of you guys by email. I'll be introducing you to her. Those of you who know Ayana is been accepted to nursing school. So she's going to nursing school on Mondays and Fridays. And she is going to remain with us in obviously she can't be there all the time for you guys. So we have hired Leary Angel to take her spot. And so she will be the sales administrator. And Ayana will stay on with the company in another capacity, but she is training Leary Angel right now. And so we congratulate Ayana, and we will still be serving you guys in another with Leary Angel in her capacity. So I'll be introducing her soon to you guys by email and giving you her email information and her phone number and stuff so you guys can reach her directly. Today's show, we have Jason and Jennifer Pughe. As you see them, they're on the upper right-hand corner of my screen, but they could be anywhere on yours. But Jason and Jennifer Pughe are with AmeriFirst Home Mortgage, and they are going to be presenting you guys some things, and they have a little surprise for you at the end. So I'm going to turn it over to Jason and Jennifer right now.
Thanks, Ryan.
Hi, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, so as Ryan said, I'm Jason. This is Jennifer. So we're with AmeriFirst Home Mortgage. Kind of a brief thing about AmeriFirst. We've been around for 38 years, started as a Midwest lender, and now moved into the Southeast in the last 3 years. In the last 3 years, have grown into one of the top lenders in the Southeast, as well as obviously Orlando. Kind of the things that differentiate us from other lenders is we're pretty much, from a perspective of other banks, trying to fit borrowers into a certain credit box. We are the credit box. So there's a lot of things that we were able to do during COVID with our conventional loans with FHA that a lot of the banks tightened up on. So that's an advantage of what we can do. We're also looking to really just find realtors that we can partner with and have relationships with versus just being transactional. One of the great things that we do is we have a Friday call where we have a speaker come in. We had Tom Ferry actually last week. That's one of the top real estate coaches out there. And I have that presentation and can definitely send it to you. It was a great call. A lot of great feedback. We had about 400 realtors that were on the call. My email is, and we'll put it in the chat too, but if you are interested in that, it's Jason, JASONP at AmeriFirst.com, and that's AmeriFirst.com. And so with my wife and I've been in the mortgage business for 5 years. Started out in the secondary market, learning rate locks and that market. Transitioned to processing and client relations, and then into origination. My wife Jennifer has been a processor for many years and processed thousands of loans. And we start, the process begins and ends with us. So basically, I will take the app, I will get the file together, I will make sure it looks good for underwriting, get it to the underwriter, and then we have a loan partner that works with us as well. That's in a sense not really it's kind of a hybrid role of a loan originator and a processor, but like I said, the process starts and ends with us. So we're communicating with your realtors, with your listing agents, with the buyer's agents, keeping them abreast on the appraisal, when it's gone into underwriting, things like that. And I'd let you speak on the back end.
Yeah, we reach out to the listing agents as well and just keep them really informed in the process along the way. And it's just been a great thing for us. To us, communication is key. It's the most important part. And I think that a lot of times, when you go through this process, you kind of are blind. You're like, I don't really know what's going on, or, you only hear the bad. We like, giving the bad up front and quickly. And then we also like giving you all the good too. Jason and I have had many house buying experiences in our lives. And so it's really nice as we're able to just come alongside your buyer and work with them and just be there with them every step of the way. And we have an in-house underwriting and in-house closing, and also we have our own appraisal department. So those things are really beneficial, because if there's a problem, we, just go right next door, or we pick up the phone, we do Teams, and we're really able to build communication with our entire process and keep you informed as well. So that's really helpful. And especially our appraisal department, they're just incredible. And we just had, I don't know, just a really great experience with them for sure, especially lately, because I know appraisals have been a little crazy. But yeah, we're a family business. We have our majority of our entire family works in the mortgage business, and we're a marriage team. So if anyone needs us at any time, we're almost always together, and we get along great, which is awesome. I know a lot of people can't work with their significant other, but for us, it's really helpful. And sometimes a guy buyer wants to talk to a guy, right? And sometimes the girl buyer wants to talk to a girl. So it's just really nice because we have both of that at their fingertips. And anyway, it's just been really good for us. And we're super thankful for Ryan for allowing us to come on. And Ryan and Jason have known each other about 10
years, yeah.
10 years now. So anyway, we're really thankful to be here with you. I know Jason had wanted to talk a little bit about something great that we are offering. Like he was telling you, we do a speaker series. We do all of this for free. We bring you guys the value. And let's see, what else were you going to say?
Well, I definitely want to touch on pre-approvals too, because I know that's kind of hot right now with the way that the market's going, and you need to, get that offer in and multiple multiple bids for your different places that your buyer wants to offer on. So us with the pre-approval process, it's very quick. It's something that if you call, it's our goal to get it done within the hour. Weekends and things like that, if we're at the store, rush home or to a computer and make sure to get that document to you, because we know how time sensitive that is. So we're definitely on top of it in terms of that, and very communicated with you and your clients, and just making them feel that, hey, we've got you in this process. You're not waiting around like, what do I do? Am I going to lose this house? The other great thing too is if we need to speak to the pre-approval to the listing agent and really confirm the strength of it, that's something that we do as well. So I think from that perspective, we've got your back in terms of just making sure that you're not waiting around for something, and definitely want to meet your needs ASAP. But as far as the piece that we want to talk to you about, so kind of one of the ways that we differentiate ourselves from other lenders is we are starting a coaching series. And Todd Duncan, who, if you're not familiar with him, he's one of the top, I guess you could say more on the mortgage side, but one of the top coaches that is out there. We're doing a 10-week series. So we're taking a limited amount of agents through like a lottery system, and basically having a 10-week accountability program. And we're going to essentially, it's like Jen said, it's no charge. It's starting March 12th. It's anyone who's looking to build trust, get more conversions, and just kind of hold each other accountable to your goals. So if you're looking for direction, helping your business, helping life goals, like it's a great opportunity. And it's going to be a really great 10-week series. And, we'll have a weekly, every week, or every bi-weekly call with Todd Duncan, and the following week, go over those goals, accountability, things like that. So if anybody is interested in that, again, my email address is Jason and then p@AmeriFirst.com. Again, it's no charge. And I think it's a huge opportunity, especially for people that are looking to get more conversions and essentially just, help their business and life goals. So, that's AmeriFirst in a nutshell. If anybody has any questions or anything, definitely open up to that, or Ryan, if anything you want to touch on.
I have a few questions.
Okay.
One is, well, first I want to make a comment. You only have limited space there, right? For the
Correct.
free coaching.
Yeah. So
Got
you're probably looking at probably 10 realtors at the most.
Okay, so we've talked to coaches on here before, and there's obviously there's an expense involved in it that's prohibitive for a lot of people. But this is, guys, this is free 10 weeks of accountability training. It is fantastic. It's a great opportunity. I put Jason's email in the chat. So you guys email him. He's going to do a lottery type thing for 10 folks. So he can't do it. It takes a tremendous time. Jason works with you through this, so it takes a tremendous amount of time for him, which is why they have to limit it to a certain amount of people. So get on that. Email Jason if you're interested, and he'll be letting you know. Also, Jason, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
We have people in here from all over the state. Where do you guys work? Where can you loan money?
So essentially, we are in Florida, just now in Georgia,
The
Carolinas, the Midwest, Alabama, out west, California. One thing that I think is valuable is we do have an Ameri Uno division, which is our Spanish speaking division. So if you have any Spanish speaking clients, that is huge. So we've got a whole division that's dedicated to that. That if you've got clients, we'll basically, initiate that with our Ameri Uno division and make sure that they are taken care of. We're doing a ton of marketing on Telemundo, and then the local radio station. I think it's, forgive me if I'm wrong, but La Rumba, I believe. And so there's going to be a lot of consumers that are going to be coming in and essentially looking for loans, looking for realtors. And, so we're going to have a lot of referrals from that division, just kind of looking to, okay, who do we know that we can pair them with a realtor on this as well.
Fantastic. But all over Florida, that was what I was getting
Correct,
at.
correct.
Anywhere in Florida that you can loan money.
Yeah, so our office is in Winter Park. We work out of the office about 3 days a week, but our headquarters are in Winter Park, but we have branches in Tampa, Brooksville,
Spring Hill,
Sarasota.
Lakeland,
Yeah, so all over the state.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Do you guys have any questions for Jason and Jennifer? One thing I wanted to thank you for, and I asked him to mention that also, was the pre-quals. But another thing they do is they'll actually reach out to the listing agent when you let them know what's going on. They'll reach out to the listing agent and, like he said, and back up your client's strength of offer. As you know, it is very difficult to get an offer accepted right now. So they make it easier for that. And that's strong. That's the kind of thing that puts you over the top when they have very similar offers. And a lot of you guys are making, full price plus offers on things, and you're struggling with them getting accepted. That's the kind of thing that helps when you hear, you can imagine being a listing agent or a seller and looking at a bunch of offers that all look the same. And then you have somebody calling you and letting you know how strong that their client is. So that's a really nice thing to have.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
Jason or Jennifer, do you guys work with the first-time home buyers programs at all? I know there's several out there, and some mortgage don't like to work with it. So,
yeah. So we, from the conventional side, one of the first-time home buyer programs is 3% down. So you've got your Home Possible and Home Ready through Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So we have that. We also do work with the Florida Bond Program. The down payment assistance, it really just depends on what county. Some counties right now are closed to down payment assistance. And, one thing that we really try to kind of inform your clients about as well is, I think a lot of first-time home buyers think that, getting down payment assistance and going in necessarily to a first-time home buyer program is the best way for them to go. And sometimes it might not be, because they don't realize that there's a fee that's involved with down payment assistance. There's a higher rate. And then sometimes if you refi or sell within a certain period, you have to pay that money back. So, trying to educate the clients about that, because I can't tell you how many times we've seen people come to us for refis and they had no idea that they're coming out of down payment assistance, and they've got to come up with essentially what they got the first time around. So just educating them, but we don't shy away from them. We definitely do them. And if it's the best scenario for your client, by all means, we want them to do that. And I think too, just like I said, educating them and showing them that a gift might be better if you're able to get a gift from a family member versus down payment assistance. But to answer your question, yes.
So you are aware of how they work and what is the paperwork that need to be submitted in order on time in order to be successful, because not all the time is the program did not work for the buyer. It was the fact that maybe the paperwork submittal was delayed. So you are familiar with the paperwork and the time constraint that must be kept keep in mind.
Yes. And I would tell anybody up front that if you're looking into those options, bond or even down payment assistance, to not write a 30-day contract. It's probably going to be a 60-day close due to that paperwork, due to that process. So definitely we are familiar with it.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jason, I have a question for you. Are you handling challenge credit, bankruptcies, and what are your rates?
So essentially, as far as credit goes, with the 580 score, we can go FHA. We can go lower than that. They're going to have to put more money down. I think 540 is the lowest we can go, but off the top of my head, I believe you're looking at probably, I think it's 10% down on that 540 score. The bankruptcy is really just going to depend on what, right. A couple of weeks ago, I had a pre-qual where a guy had a bankruptcy. And if it met the discharge date, we could do it. The other problem that we had is he had a foreclosure that was starting, and then basically the bank agreed to short sale it. And so we had to, a certain amount of time on those dates before we could get them in. So we do challenge credit, but it's going to be basically by what goes with the conventional, what goes with the Fannie Mae guidelines, the Freddie Mac guidelines, and the FHA guidelines. But we aren't, some banks will do FHA, will do conventional, but like I said earlier with the credit box, they might say, hey, their credit box is 640, or ours might be 620 for conventional. And then same with FHA, maybe they're 600 on FHA, we're 580 for, 3.5% down. And as far as rates go, just to give you kind of an idea, I mean, rates are climbing today. They've been climbing all since last week. I mean, on a purchase right now, off yesterday's rates, perfect credit, perfect scenario, I mean, you were probably looking at 2.875 to 3. I do have many banks that we compete with on a daily basis, like Wells Fargo and people like that, and we're often lower than they are. So we're definitely very competitive from the rate side, and I have no problem actually going to our managers if they've got a loan estimate in hand or a quote, and beating or matching at the very least what they already have.
And I wanted to say too, if a deal isn't going to work at the time, if the borrower is not ready, we have a great follow-up system as well, and definitely refer them back to you as soon as they're ready. So that's something, Jason's very good at giving them scenarios and how they can get to where they need to be, and just to follow up with them. And your borrowers, the transaction for us doesn't end at the clear to close. We keep in touch with them. We have a follow-up system for ourselves where we reach out for birthdays, for their anniversary of getting their house, for their homeowner's insurance policy is going to be due, and talking about possibly changing or getting them a better rate. So we're not just high buy. We're very big on that relationship, and always referring them back to you as well.
And from the credit perspective, just since Jen touched on it, so through our credit vendor, we actually have a program where if somebody doesn't have great credit, we can do scenarios and print the step-by-step for that particular client to, okay, if you need to get a 580, this is what you need to do in X amount of time. So I've got a number of people right now where maybe they had 540 scores, but we need to get them to 580. We need to get them to 620. And in order to do that, they've got to pay this card off, or they need to open up a small balance credit card, things like that we have as tools as well, to basically help them get the credit up if they're not ready for right then.
Hi, Jason. I have a question.
Yes.
What interest rates are you offering investors at the moment with maybe 780 plus credit score?
I'm sorry, did you say investors?
Yes.
Yeah, so it would really just depend on the property type as well. You know, condos with investments and certain LTVs can have different rate adjustments. You know, the other thing with investment condos is you're going to have to go through a review, and certain loan to values will have a limited review where you only need to get a short form condo questionnaire done, whereas a higher LTV, you're going to have to get a full form as well as, you know, the annual budget and things like that. So there's just different factors that we have that go into a rate when it comes to certain, you know, you've got a hit for investment, you got a hit for you know, your credit, unless it's good, obviously, for property type and things like that. But if you've got one that you need a particular scenario on, I'd love to quote it for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Jason and Jennifer, would you guys be interested in co-hosting with any agents a first-time homebuyer seminar or something like that?
Yeah, definitely.
Most definitely.
Okay. Sounds like a lot of these questions that you guys have are going to come up on a more individual basis. And if you guys want to set up at your local, you know, clubhouse or whatever, a first-time homebuyer seminar, or you can do it in one of our conference rooms at one of our offices, just let us know, and you can have it on a Saturday or something like that, or an evening, and have a lender there to answer the lending questions while you answer the real estate questions.
Yeah.
So just think outside the box, guys. Do stuff like that to build that business, build that pipeline.
And, you know, one of the things that we do as well with our pre-approvals is we have a tool where we can essentially do different analysis as far as like rent to own analysis, what's the cost of waiting analysis, so things like that, that if you've got a particular client that's on the fence about, should I buy right now, I'm renting, is this the right place for me, how much is it going to cost if I wait to do this? So we've got actual real life stats and numbers that we can give you as far as printouts and things like that may maybe help get some of those clients off the fence.
Fantastic.
And I know you guys aren't having as many open houses, you know, things are really going fast. But if you do, we are happy to come to any as well and can pre-approve right there as well. So.
Fantastic. Now, don't take Jennifer wrong there and send them out by themselves to do an open house.
Yeah.
So, they mean with you, not
yes,
your
with
place.
you. We are happy to partner with you. But yeah.
You'll be surprised. Any other questions for the Pughs?
VA buyers.
Yes. So we are well familiar with VA. Actually have one right now. And I don't know if you know this, but you know, you have an entitlement amount, but we actually had one that had a $248 entitlement amount, and we were able to do it. So that was a first for me on that side, but yeah, well versed on it, on, you know, with the appraisal process, with the certain things that VA is going to require. Yeah, so it's I've done a number of VAs and even done a number of, you know, ERLs or the refinances for the VAs as well. So what we try to do is get their certificate of eligibility right away, run it through the VA portal, and make sure that we've got all that. If we don't get it, then get their DD 214 up front so we can get that. So we definitely try to make that process as quick as possible with the documentation that we need.
Fantastic.
No.
Okay, any other questions? No other questions. Fantastic. Well, Jason and Jennifer, I appreciate you guys coming. The rest of you guys, we're going to stay on a little bit longer, but thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. You guys be sure to email Jason. His email is in the chat if you're interested in the free coaching, which you all should be, but email Jason if you're interested in that, and he will do that. Now, Jason, that's all, it's all virtual, right?
Yes, all virtual. And the same thing, even if you're not interested in the coaching, I mean, you'd want the presentation that Tom Ferry did with about 400 agents last week, I can forward that to you as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Thank
Guys,
you.
get the accountability coaching. You know, some of you need it. Probably all of you need it. I need it too. But get the accountability coaching. All right. Well, thank you guys. Email Jason,
Thank you.
jasonp@amerifirst.com. And thank you, Jason and Jennifer.
Thank you.
Thanks. All
All
right.
right, guys.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Did you guys like that? Good.
Definitely, it was amazing.
Good. Get the coaching. Seriously. I mean, he can only take 10 of you, but I don't
Thumbs
know how
up.
many. I don't know how many out of the 34 of you are paying attention. So maybe if you want it, you'll get it. The teams, I got emails from several of you because I told you about the team down in Kissimmee, St. Cloud, Lake Nona area that's looking for people. I know Hanan, I put you in touch with them, right? Okay. Someone else also is in here now that I think I put in touch. Was it Martha Elena? Did you talk to them as well? Good. Guys, whether it works out for you or not, you may not like the team, you may love the team. I don't know. I'm just putting you in touch with them, and it's up to you guys to work it out.
Ryan?
Yes.
I'm so sorry to bother you. John and I are also looking for people on our team, but we are really honing in on brand new agents or newer agents. So if somebody wants to kind of get in on a team where they're going to be coached through their transactions and working their lead generation and whatnot, we're happy to sit down and buy you a cup of coffee.
Vivi, will you put in the chat, please, kind of the areas that they don't necessarily have to live in, but have access to, and or any other requirements that you have? Just kind of put that in there.
That reminds me, we need an East Volusia connection apparently because Volusia MLS is divided. I didn't know this.
Oh yeah, that's fun. So some of you guys who aren't in the area, like Richard, understands the intricacies of the MLSs and all the different boards and all that stuff. Those of you in Tampa, Orlando, Sarasota, Clearwater, and everywhere in between, Lake and Sumter counties, Osceola County, we all have the same MLS, all the way to West Volusia down to Sarasota and most places in between. Hernando and Citrus are different, and all that. Even Ocala Marion has come on to our stellar MLS now. So West Volusia, all of those counties are on the same. There are about 8 million people in that one stellar MLS group, which is awesome. So I can search properties in Sarasota or Clearwater or Ocala like they're across the street from my house. The West Volusia is part of, DeLand, DeBerry, etc. Then Daytona has its own board, and New Smyrna has its own board. New Smyrna board only has 484 members or something like that. And it's got its own MLS and its own board. It is a pain. So if you're an agent in Port Orange, you have to be a member of West Volusia, Daytona, and New Smyrna. So it's kind of crazy and really not fair because they want to travel 10 miles in any direction from their house to do work. They've got to be members of 3 boards. So yes, that is the case. We are members of all those boards. So, and we have people in there. I got John's email late last night, but he was just looking for some information, which you can get at the office, by the way, to answer that question. Vivian, if you want to stop by the office, they'll pull that for you.
But if we wanted to post our listing to that MLS, he's going to have to be on that MLS.
Yeah,
right?
you can contact the MLS and see if they'll post it for you.
Okay.
Sometimes they will do that for $100 or something like that, but
Okay.
otherwise it should only be a couple $100 because you're already a member of the NAR and the FAR and all that stuff. So it should only be a couple $100 to be a secondary member somewhere. So if you have a listing, it's worth it. If you have one buyer, you have to decide if they're definitely going to buy there or not, and,
Right.
that kind of thing to see if it's worth it for your money. And you get it for a year, so you sell a house in the first couple months, and you get it for free for 10 months, whatever.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's just a decision to make based on that. But yes, we are very fortunate to have 80% of our agents in one giant MLS, which is nice. Richard also has his team. Richard's down in Indian River all the way down to Broward. He has his team. I'm sorry, Brevard all the way down to Broward. So he has his team there that he's forming. If you guys are interested in that, or if you need anything down there, contact Richard. You see he's on the Zoom call here. Any other questions or comments about anything? Guys, I can't state enough how much that coaching will help you. It really will. So consider that. Check the chat. Jason's email is in there. And he'll be contacting you and letting you know. He did send me the class that they held last week that Tom Ferry had. Tom Ferry's great, of course. He's expensive. So if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. If you follow the things that these people ask me all the time, which of these gurus should I follow? If I follow so-and-so, is that going to work out? If you follow any of them and do what they say, any accountability coach is going to work for you. Okay. Anybody that motivates you and holds you accountable is going to work for you. Do it. Use it. Right. I know nothing compared to these guys, but if you do what I say, you'll do fine. All right. If you listen to my goals Zoom that we did, if you do the ones, if you're following up and actually doing it, you're going to do great. It's just a matter of doing it. Don't just think it. You got to actually do it, and you've got to be held accountable. You guys know, when you have the goal, work yourself backwards to what do I need to do every day to get there. And it works. It's just like building Legos. You got to start with the first row and then you build it up and it's something nice eventually. But you got to start. If you don't start, it'll never grow. All right. The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is today. All right. So you got to start and you got to do it. Just thinking about planting a tree is never going to grow one. Any other comments, questions, anything? I thought that Jason and Jennifer were going to go a little longer, but they didn't apparently need to. So that's good. Guys, make sure you're getting strong pre-approval letters. And if your lender will contact the seller, that's better than a love letter. People love to sell their house to somebody who's nice and can't wait to live there and all this stuff, the love letters that we do. But they'd rather sell one to someone who's actually going to close. So make sure that you're getting a strong pre-approval. I've shown you guys some on here before. You can ask for that from your lender. Ask for them to say, look, I've checked their W-2s, I've checked their tax returns, I've checked this stuff. It's not just a pre-qual that we did on the phone in 5 minutes. It's a pre-approval, right? Showing that all we need that to plug in now is the property, and they will do that for you. Okay. Has everybody got that? Give me some nods out there if you've got that, because you've got to be strong right now. Nobody's taking weak offers. Nobody's taking nice offers. And even if you're doing escalation clauses where you're $500 more than the next highest offer, would these people rather have $500 or would they rather have their property closed? Right? It's $500 on top of $400,000. It's not going to do it for them. They'd rather have it closed. Okay. Any other comments, questions? Yes, Hanan.
Yes. Hi, Ryan. I'm not sure if you already talked about Zillow purchasing showing time. Like, how does it affect us? Like, because on showing time, it shows our, license number and phone numbers and stuff. Where are this information going? Like, who see that?
There's a lot of, I don't think anybody's really sure yet what it's doing. There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there of what's going to happen. I won't call them conspiracy theories. They're just theories, because something's going to happen. But for now, it seems to be operating as normal. I mean, it was a profitable business that they purchased. So they're going to keep doing what they're doing for now until they make the changes that they're going to make. And nobody knows what that is yet. I've read a bunch of stuff, and a lot of realtors on these mastermind groups and stuff like that have a lot of opinions, but I don't know. I haven't seen any actual evidence of anything that's changed yet. So there's lots of theories out there. I don't know. I mean, I don't even want to give you one, because I don't have any idea how it's going to affect us just yet. I don't like it though.
Yeah.
I think we're all a little paranoid of Zillow, and
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that it's paranoia. Are you paranoid if they really are after you? You know, it's not
Right.
paranoia. So it's nobody's sure yet, is what I'll say to that.
Okay, and
read up on it and see what you think. But there are a lot of theories out there, and you can choose to believe whichever one you want. I'm not sure what to believe yet.
okay, thank you. And also, I want to know if anybody received, because we got this email, I'm sure everybody received from NAR about the scam email that realtors are getting about assassination and killing and stuff like that. They said, be aware. And this happening to anybody, or like, what is that? It says it's been happening since 2017 or something.
First time I heard of it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got the email. Everybody
Yeah.
got the email, but you
Yeah.
know, I mean, I'm sure it's happening, or they wouldn't be sending it out. But the first I've heard of it is when I got that email, which I guess
Yeah.
was the point. So when you do hear of it, you know what it's about. Yeah, there's lots of scams and stuff, guys out there, and a lot of these things like the Nigerian prince and all this kind of stuff, and you think, how stupid is it and all that, but they wouldn't do it if it didn't work. It must work on some people, or they wouldn't do it. They would stop doing it. So, you know, there's people need to be warned of scams, and there's scams out there. And you know, we're going to eventually have on here an expert in something I've got kind of lined up. I'm working on an expert in self-defense for you guys, not self-defense, but defending yourself as a real estate agent. Because there are lots of scams out there, and so much stuff is done by internet now. You know, we talked about many times about how the business has changed, and you're not doing business with people who, you know, had kids on your little league team with you, right? You're doing business with people you've never met online. That's how you get leads nowadays. That's the number one way to do it. And so you're getting people out there, and some of them are predators, and some of them are perverts, and some of them are all kinds of scammers and everything else. So you need to be able to at least defend yourself, electronically defend yourself from going out and meeting these people, and physically sometimes be able to distance yourself from predators, etc. And you know, males and females.
Because they're saying don't reply, right? But report it to the police or the FBI. Like, how serious the police will take? Like, do they really will take it seriously? Like, they believe me, or how? Like, I don't even know what to do if I receive that email.
Well, I think if they recognize the pattern of behavior from a certain person or IP address or something like that, they'll act on it. I don't know.
Okay.
Ryan,
Yes.
Thank you.
I sent on the chat a flyer in Spanish, just in case somebody has a Spanish client, with the only condo in Plantation 32821 for sale.
Okay. Well, fantastic. Fantastic.
Hey, Brian, can you speak to the rate increases on mortgages and what we're seeing?
The rates on mortgages?
Yes, they've been going up steadily. Where do you expect them
yeah,
to go
they're
to?
yeah. I mean, people are still, you know, it's hard to, Rich, you'll understand this. You remember 18%, so it's hard to really complain too much about, oh my gosh, it might get back up to 4. But yeah, they're slowly, you know, if we'd had Jason on a month ago, he'd have said 2.75 to 2.825, not 2.825 to 3, right? So they're slowly and steadily, but that's just the Fed's not raising rates, that's banks. And so, you know, I read something yesterday about it had to do with cryptocurrencies and all that kind of stuff, but talk about the Fed's staying out of it. They're not going to raise their rates for a while. This is the economy needs this artificially low interest rates to keep it going. So it's what the Fed thinks. So that's what's going on, is banks are just trying to, you know, a lot of that has to do with the market. So there are competing investments in the world where people are looking to especially the whales, large investors and hedge funds and all that kind of stuff are looking at real estate versus the market versus, you know, the stock market, et cetera, et cetera. So at some point there has to be some kind of incentive for them to be buying mortgages. And so, they're going to have to raise the rates a little bit, because right now there's just not enough yield on it to compete with the stock market and everything else. Dow's at an all-time high, or was recently.
Mhm.
So they've got to compete. So they're going to raise rates a little bit so they can sell mortgages.
Yeah.
Your mortgage company isn't holding the mortgage for 30 years, so they bundle them off and sell them. So there's got to be some kind of premium there, but also, it's with the economy not doing great, with people keeping their jobs and stuff like that, or people even trying to work right now because unemployment's so good.
Mhm.
But with people keeping their jobs, the economy's not doing that great. So there's also more risk for foreclosure. So they don't want, there's got to be more premium. Not to get into a macroeconomics thing, but that's what I'm seeing also, is very slight and very slow raising of interest rates. Plus there's just flat out demand. And I don't know, the capitalist in me wants to believe that that's part of it. I'm not sure that it is. I think it's more of the investment stuff.
Gotta get it when you can get it, right?
Yeah, and now's the time. But what does that mean to us, everybody out there? What does that mean to us? Interest rates are going up. Is that a good time to buy or a good time to sell?
Both.
Yes, thank you, Rich. I love it. Yes, that's always the answer to that question when I ask you guys. Both. Because if it's a good time to buy, then it's a good time to sell, right? So interest rates are creeping up. We better sell when? Like in 6 months or now? Now. That's what you need to be telling these potential sellers. That's what you need to be saying on your social media. That's what message you need to get out. Now's the time to sell, because a $400,000 house, what does a quarter point of interest mean in my monthly payment? Right? That's a rhetorical question, because I don't know off the top of my head. But what does that mean? It's a rhetorical question, but it means I can afford more house right now for the same $3,000 a month I can spend. I can afford more house right now than I will be 6 months from now. Which also means if I sell my house now, I'm going to get more for it than I'm going to get 6 months from now, right? Because I'll have a bigger pool of buyers. More people will afford it. The same buyer will be able to pay more for it, right? So now's a great time to buy before interest rates go up. So I can buy more house for my money. And now's a great time to sell, because I can get more money for my house, right? So there you go. It's still time to, as they say in stocks, there's still time to buy the dip, right? Because the interest rates have dipped. There's still time to buy the dip before they go back up. That makes sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Now get out there and sell. That's how you do it. You get people excited. You create some urgency. Now there's urgency in the market. Interest rates are going to creep back up. They're creeping back up. You got data for that. Google it. Okay. You just heard it firsthand from, we had Tom Weinert on a couple of months ago, and he was talking about 2.75. Now they're talking about 2.85 and 3. So they're going up. Get it while you can. Get them while they're hot. Okay.
Mhm.
Guess what? When interest rates are going down, it's also a good time to buy and a good time to sell. So you guys are salespeople. Make it happen. Create urgency. Timid salespeople have skinny kids. I say that all the time on here, but.
So Ryan, I always like to tell people, in the early 70s, my parents bought their house for 18%.
Yep.
And just refied over the years, and eventually obviously paid it off. So it's not the end of the world if the interest rate's high, because people always play that margin anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I paid 18% one time. No
Yeah.
fun.
These young people on this call right now are like, what are they talking about?
I think my first loan was 9%. I don't even remember now. It's been several decades.
In 1981, the average mortgage rate that year, the average mortgage rate was 16.63. That was average. Wow. So just something to think about when people start complaining about their interest rates. So, but but the difference between 2.75 and 3 is significant percentage wise. I mean, not the 0.25 percentage wise. I mean, the difference between 2.75 and 3, right? Is bigger difference between than that than between 5.75 and 6. So, I mean, it's significant. It's a significant change in interest rates. So get out there and sell. Any other questions? Anybody have any other questions about what time would be a good time to buy and sell? Because that would be any time. All right. So, all right, guys. Well, short meeting today. Guest speaker didn't take long. Hey, I'm dead serious about emailing that guy. I'm telling you, will thank yourself for doing that. Email Jason, get in that class, do the class, have some accountability. You guys take the time out of your day to be here for this. It's not particularly entertaining or exciting, but you guys do it to get better. Go ahead and take the next steps. Do the other things that you have to do. Okay? Do the other things. I mean, Tom Ferry, way better than I am. Do that. Take the time to do that. Get the accountability, right? So, thank you guys for coming. This is the first step. Now go do that. All right. Thank you all for coming. We'll see you guys soon. Sorry for the short meeting, or you're welcome for the short meeting, and and we'll do it again next week. Bye, guys. Oh,
Thank you.
we're gonna do Home Partners of America. I think next week or the week after. Okay, you guys familiar with that? If not,
Yes.
familiarize yourself with it. It's a lease to own program, and we're gonna have them on. I don't know if we confirm next week. It's either next week or the week after. All right.
Thank
All right,
you.
guys. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.